Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Jess Leal in this incarnation. So today I'm going to talk about the function of evil or darkness or whatever you want to call it, to know what is the purpose of this. Let's start by saying that every world that is created in this universe, it's a product of the spirit experimenting and trying to know itself. So the lower realms, like this one, has this energy, the darkness, the evil, just to evolve. The word Satan, it is connected with Saturn, which is in astrology the planet that is linked with limitations. We call it the master of karma or the master of time, because karma is not something bad. Karma is only the return of a previous pulse that we introduced to this universe. So Saturn has connections with commitment, responsibility too, and is a planet who tell us that everything in this material world needs a process to give shape. So all the limitations, all the limits that we have here exists just to help us to transcend them. For example, there were these guys that it was like, I don't know, I don't remember the number, but they survived. They were 16. These guys from Uruguay that crashed in a plane accident in the Andes range. They experienced a lot of difficulties. They had to eat the bodies of the dead ones just to survive, and they stayed like for 2 months there. A lot of them had like a spiritual awaken, what we call a spiritual awaken, but in reality we're not awaken. We are just changing our perception of this reality. That's what is really the spiritual awaken. We are realizing that this is the reality. It's not only what we see, and then that knowing cosmic laws and how to transform the invisible world, which is our thoughts, emotions, intentions, we can change this reality. So a lot of them experienced this spiritual connection after that, because that situation was really hard. There's this story about there is a film which is called The Impossible, about the tsunami in Thailand. This woman, the actual woman who went through all of this, I saw this interview, and the interviewer asked her what did it mean to go through a natural disaster like that. And this woman answered that it was a gift to her. And maybe normal people can say how that thing could become a gift, but for her that situation meant to realize and value simple things, her children, her family, everything. So after that, she had like a very profound spiritual connection. So limits here are sometimes ways of the energy of darkness to teach us how transcend them. They are here just to make us evolve. So darkness actually it's not an evil energy, but we from our human perspective we see it like the enemy. Most of the times we learn through darkness because we couldn't learn from love or from light. And when we are in denial of something, then the shadow comes bigger and bigger, just to get us, just to see it. So there are many souls that are at service of this energy. And these souls are what we call psychopaths or sociopaths or persons with a narcissist disorder. I put them all on the same bag, and I'm going to tell you why. Psychology does these differences. I'm going to tell you the difference now, but actually they are the same on the result, because they can change. The difference is between narcissists and psychopaths. It's that then psychopaths are born that way, and the narcissists had like a time until they are teenagers, that if they received this is what psychology says, but I don't know exactly if this is correct. Again, we have to question everything, because I had a lot of connections that with this kind of people, and they really I didn't see anyone change, and I see them in a lot of shapes. I mean kids too, and they don't actually have soul, and Kabbalah gives an explanation for this. They are at service at this for this energy. They are masters to teach us, but we can reach the how can I say it? We can reach gratitude for those experiences if we don't understand how to operate with them. And I think that's the last step of healing, when you actually can be thankful for what you lived, in spite of have suffered, so these people can change. Psychopaths, they born that way, they are born that way, and they died like that way. Narcissists, psychology says that they are like they become with time and certain situations, but after that period of generally after they are teenagers, after 14 years more or less, that time, they become with this disorder, and they can't change either. So they certainly can have psychopathic behavior, and I really saw this. I told you I had a partner that was this way. He wasn't a psychopath, he was a narcissist. But the little difference are that a narcissist is a being of anguish. They can show like lower emotions, or they are like very dramatic, and they manipulate with this, of course. But psychopaths are, they can work in unicity. They don't always need to drain people's energy to get what they want, but they certainly do that too, in order to proceed to their objectives. But narcissists, they always need to parasite somebody else. They can't live with that. They feed that way, because that's those kind of souls, they don't have emotions like high vibration emotions. Let's talk about let's call them like that. So they don't feel love, joy, happiness, compassion. They definitely can't even lie about that. They don't know the compassion. They only can imitate, only if at that moment they see compassion in somebody else. But that's the big key to recognize if a person is a psychopath or a narcissist, because they don't know compassion. They can't lie about that either. So how I said, narcissists always need to parasite somebody else. Psychopaths, they do, but not always. They don't always need it. Actually, they like to be alone too. They hate people. So this is the difference, but they act the same way in the final result. And they are always looking for adrenaline in emotions. So they can't experiment love or joy or happiness, but they can experiment like this recharge of adrenaline in fear and anguish, or sadness. So this is the way they feed themselves, like producing these kind of emotions in other people. Of course, every person that that ends with one of these kind of people, that one of these souls, that in reality they don't have almost a soul, and you can detect this in their eyes. They don't have, there's emptiness in their eyes. This is so crazy. But people who ends with this kind of souls at service of darkness, they don't have self-love. That's the main thing. We have to be responsible for our connections and the people we choose. And I don't this theory about we are empaths and they catch us and they do all these evil things to us. That theory, it is true, but all the things they do or they did to us, that happened because we didn't have healthy boundaries. So I don't like the concept of victim, because that concept took me much time of my life that prevented me to grow and be responsible of my own life. So there's no victims in spirituality, only responsible people. And it's the only way we can change that, because when I was in the astrology sessions, I attracted a lot of people that were in this kind of situation, of course, because I went through this, so I had a lot of tools to offer, and it's normal that universe put like the people you can help in front of you. So most of these persons, of these people, and I went through this myself. We weren't loving ourselves, and we hadn't boundaries. We didn't. And we choose this kind of bonds must be treated like an addiction. It's the same thing, the exact same thing. You can feel the abstinence between periods of separation, because these relationships always are a come and go. We can experiment this, of course, with a family member. It could be our father or our mother, and in that case, which is my case too, but my father is a narcissist, but I didn't. He was like an absent father, so he did me a favor actually. But I met him later in life. I met him, sorry, and I was like trained in these situations already, so I did realize it, and I cut everything, every communication with him. That's what we need to do. We don't confront narcissists or psychopaths. We don't fear them. We don't give them energy at all. That's the only way to cut those kind of relationships, those ties. But when we experiment this, when I don't know if our mother is one type of these people, it's sometimes it's difficult to realize it, because we don't have a reference. We need to see other mothers or our friends' mothers or father to take accountability of what our mother is with us, and we're gonna see that actually they don't love anybody. We are not raised with love when we have a narcissist or a psychopath mother or father. So the level of damage is very, very, very profound, because we have that in our programmation. We have to cut ties to and never see them again. And it's the same thing if we have a child like that. I know it is very hard to experience these kind of things, but they are, from the perspective of the soul, these are only lessons to learn. I know that here, when we are living here and incarnated here, this is very, very painful to experiment. I know it really well, but the only way that we can heal ourselves is to cut ties with those kind of people. They manipulate in a lot of ways, and they always try to get us angry or with fear or sad, or they are always provoking those kind of emotions. and we are never can be happy with this kind of people surrounding us. This is very important. In the case we have a partner like this, well, these people use manipulation and cognitive dissonance every time. So we are in such a confusing state that we can't really we feel we can't trust our intuition, and all the things we feel, our body will transmit all the messages, you know. We're gonna have illness, we're gonna feel ill, we're gonna have depression, anxiety. Our body is gonna tell us how we really feel, but our mind, because of this cognitive dissonance, will tell us another thing, because we are this of course it's heavier, proportionally to the years we are spending with this kind of people. So when we are raised by psychopaths, of course this is a programmation that it's very installed in us, but we have to got it, because the first step to heal is to cut ties. Healing doesn't start until we do that. We can heal before that. Kabbalah says that people that are like this, have this condition, they experimented in more than 3 incarnations a state of hell. Hell and heaven are not places where we go when we die. Are places that we create here in this material world. So this condition of hell has to do with destruction and hate and murder. It's like it's not just being angry with somebody. That's more like I don't know. It's like a shadow self, but this kind of hell that Kabbalah talks about, they call it Amalek. It's a condition of total destruction. So if you spend more than 3 incarnations like that, it's like your soul is extirped, because it doesn't have a function anymore. You can evolve, and you have like a little point of light to keep you alive, but that's all. Just like Hitler loved his dog, that's the only point of light, right? So these souls actually almost don't have a soul, and you can see it in their eyes. So they don't feel remorse, they don't feel anything of those things. We can say, how can people do that thing, or how can people I don't know, kill that way, but they don't feel anything. They are just having fun, actually, because they don't can contact with the same emotions we have. So their life is very empty. That's why they look for this kind of emotions. Not everybody, not all the psychopaths kill, but they certainly parasite other people, and they are manipulative. They manipulate, and people who are surrounded by them, they are always experiencing illness or depression or anxiety or things like that. Cancer is the last last call of the body to tell us that we are not taking care of us. We are not seeing something, and that emotion is crystallized, and many people that are married with psychopaths or have them in their family circles experiment this kind of illness. So it's very important to cut ties with those people, and I reach that place that I can't be thankful. I'm not saying you have to be thankful for this, because I know it's very hard and it's very painful. But now I can see it like a like a lesson. I did understand that, but it took me a long time to do it. That's real. And now I can see this energy of darkness like a part of this world, but this is the work that all of us have to do in order to make this planetary transition, or what we call fifth dimension. That it's only a change of perspective. I will talk about dimensions in other video, but the fifth dimension, it is connected to the consciousness of knowing that everything is connected, and there is a total unity, even with those energies, even with those souls. And those souls are incarnated here because we need them to evolve. The day we don't need them anymore, they won't incarnate, and that's the place we're going to. But we have to deal with the lessons right now, and there are so many politic leaders, people who are in charge of many institutions that are this way, because psychopaths are in that kind of spaces, and medicine and politics, economics, and every space that they can reach power or money, but power most of the time. So we are not victims of them, we are giving our power to them. If they can control us, it is because we give them power. And I know this because when I took it off, all my energy and all my attention and all the things I felt for this persons, actually, people, they just disappeared of my life. I didn't see them again. Never again. And if you look up for psychology studies, most of them, they always return to their victims. And like the word victims, I like more the word complementary, that is used by a doctor which is called Mariatan, who is called Mariatan. He's an specialist of psychopathy, psychopaths and narcissism here in Argentina, and he gave this theory. I learned this theory from him, that we are not victims, we are people who are giving like a supplement of energy, and we choose to do that. It's the only way to really cut ties, because if we feel we are victims of them, it is probably we can't get out of that situation. It's very necessary, because we can cut ties with them, but we can stay with the feeling that of anger and sadness, and I know how can we feel in those cases, but we have to transcend that if you want to let that situation go, really go. So I will leave it here, and we're gonna see each other in next videos. Goodbye.